happens is, look, the genesis of this, of course, starts with the troubles in Punjab. What happened out there? Punjab was a victim of its own success in many ways, because the Green Revolution succeeded mostly in Punjab. And what was the Green Revolution? It was the use of dwarf crops, of hybrid dwarf crops. And because they were dwarfs that didn't have to grow to three times their length to produce wheat, they shortened down and would yield results very quickly, one third the growing time. So you could have many more crops within the same growing season. But they also required huge amounts of fertilizer. And what happened was they were also quite water intensive. So ultimately, the water table got polluted both by fertilizers and overused, plus the fact that rice was introduced out there, which then has caused havoc with water tables out there. But more importantly, what it did was it increased the growth rate phenomenally. At the peak of the insurgency, the reproductive rate there was something like five, which is to say that every family was having five kids. And there was a huge male female disproportion to it, because there is always a sort of male preference. And in those days, ultrasounds hadn't been banned. So you could have sex selective abortions in those days, because abortions have never been an issue in India per se. So you had a huge uh, demographic surplus of males without jobs. And when the liberalization of India happened in 1991, when the proto industrialization technically happened, the insurgency was all well underway in Punjab. So, what happened was Punjab couldn't benefit from it at all. So, there were no industrial jobs. It was all agricultural, which had all been controlled by the Jats. And mind you, the Jats are that unique community that no matter which party you are in Punjab, your leader is always a Jat. The head, they're just 20% of the population, but they control the Gurdwaras and the Takhts. They control the Congress party. They control the anti-Congress called the Akali Dal. They control the Aam Aadmi party, which is the new opposition. They control literally everything out there. So it's kind of like Pakistan's revolving door with civilian governments, which are all controlled by the army, kind of thing. Kind of. I mean, not no analogy is exact. So you had this situation of desperation, no growth, no industry, a farmland controlled by everything, no future for you, an insurgency that's been crushed. There was a lot of migration that happened outside. What happened with this migration outside was that it slowly gained a lot of financial power through the 2000s, through the 1990s and 2000s. Before, remember, the Khalistanis were acting on the orders of and supplied by the Pakistanis. These days, they don't want to do anything. They tell the Pakistanis, we'll give you money because you're a beggar state and you go fight and die for us. And they don't have the reproductive rates to sustain an insurgency. See, the reproductive rate in Punjab is now 1.7, which is to say 1.7 children per household, half of whom will be girls. So no mother is going, when the son picks up a gun and says, Mummy, I want to go fight holy war against these Hindutva fascists. Mummy is not, before she used to be like, my God, I've got four sons, they're destroying me at home. Please go die.
Yeah.
Here, Mummy can't say that. Mummy's going to be, no, you're my only son. You have to, you're the one that's going to burn my funeral pyre. I mean, you know the entire melodrama that happens in all
Yeah.
Indian homes, because Indian melodrama is Indian melodrama. It's not religion or anything specific. It happens in every house. If you don't eat
Yeah.
your dal, if you don't eat your vegetables, it's the end of the world, and you want your mother dead because you don't love her enough, and blah 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 blah. So they do this. And what's been happening, we've been tracking this for a long time in Canada, not so much in the UK, but we saw a significant increase in funds. What we also saw was, this phenomenon where the loudest and most radical tend to execute community capture. And simultaneously with political correctness, where white Canadians or white UK folks don't want to seem to be interfering in community affairs and community business. So the radicals were given complete free rein to terrorize the community. Like, in the election that Justin Trudeau won the first time round, where he defeated Stephen Harper, we literally had moderate Sikhs being dragged out of the primaries and thrown out physically from the Labour primaries, with Royal Canadian Mounted Police standing outside watching and refusing to do anything. You would see the same sort of parallels happening in the UK as well with British police. And we suspect a lot
Definitely.
everywhere else as well where this phenomenon exists. So it's been a confluence of a lot of things come together. The thing is, it's still not going to maybe blow up into a full insurgency. You will probably have very significant terror attacks every now and then, but it won't be a Kashmir or Punjab style insurgency because the demographics on the ground don't. They're not the kind of demographics that support an insurgency.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.